Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jennifer Diamond, and I live a whole food, plant-exclusive, sos-free, gluten-free lifestyle for health and well-being, which gave me my life back. And today I wanted to bring you along as I make some chia seed pudding with baked pears. Let's go. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is actually take one of the pears. You could use as many pears as you want, but I'm going to start with one pear. This is like a 1 serving, and I am going to cut it up. These have been washed. These are Bartlett pears. There are so many variety of pears. Cosmic pears, there's Asian pears, there's red pears, there's just all kinds of pears. Whatever pear you want to use will work fine. The only thing is you just want to make sure that it's ripe, and I kind of sometimes like them to be a little overripe. And so, so this is a Bartlett pear, and it's kind of got a greenish color, even maybe sometimes yellowish. Pears tend to ripen from the inside out. So a lot of times if I cut into it and it looks a little brown where the seeds are, that's because it's like getting almost overripe. And so what I want to do is I just kind of want to slice it up into just some smaller pieces. Now, as you notice, I'm leaving the skin on. You can take the skin off if you'd like. I just prefer to eat the whole fruit. But really, if it's something that you think would be better without the skin, then peel the skin. No big deal. And so I am going to cut around the core, and I do see that this one has a little bit of seeds in it, so I'm just going to kind of try to get the seed part out. I might even just do it like that. And then for me, I'm going to go ahead and chop these up a little bit just to give them a little help, because I kind of want it to incorporate into the pudding. And so if you want to have it chunky, then you might just be fine, having it kind of on the chunkier side when you cut it up. You could also try to smash it with a fork, or you could even blend it a little bit with, say, a NutriBullet, and you don't have to puree it into a liquid, so you could decide if you want it a little chunkier or not. And that's why sometimes people might want to take the skin off, because that does make it harder to kind of smash up. But you decide. And today I'm just going to get this one more little seed out here. Okay, putting that aside. And I love pears. They're just such a wonderful, mild, and the flavor is just very mild, and it's refreshing. So, and usually people can find pears usually year round, but but I do think summertime or springtime, at least where I live, we can find them in all kinds of variety of different types. So, and I'm just kind of giving it a help start here. And look, one pear certainly makes a lot. So I just want to really kind of chop it up. Yum. Okay, I don't know. Do you get excited when you start chopping up your food and the waft of fragrance of whatever it is starts to enter into your nostrils and your sense of smell kicks in? So if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll be notified when I go live or post new videos, and give this a thumbs up. I would so greatly appreciate your support. And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you for subscribing. It really does help my channel grow and to help me reach other people. So I appreciate that. If this is something you want to chat about, go ahead. Drop a comment in the comments below and we will chat. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and grab my scooper scraper, and you may notice and wonder, why is she not wearing her vest? Well, because this is a day when I usually don't wear the vest. I don't wear it 7 days a week. I do try to wear it about 5 to 6 times a week. Anyhow, in case you were wondering, that's why. So let me rinse my fingers. And I actually think that I might try, I don't know, just out of curiosity to see if I can mash that. So you see, we took the chopped up pears and we placed it in this bowl. This bowl does not have a flat bottom, which is making this a little more challenging, only because I decided at the last minute that I would see if I could smash it down at all with a fork. And what's really happening is some of the pear juices are coming out, which are really nice. Okay, and ooh, I see a little seed here. So if you don't get all the seeds out and you happen to see something, oh, no, that's just part of the skin. What if you do, just go ahead and take it out. It's not a big deal. And I really do think I saw something, but nope, I think I'm seeing things. Like a little bit of a little blemish from the skin that looked like a seed. At any rate, okay, so I'm gonna call this good. And then the next thing we're gonna do, besides move that out of the way, is add some plant milk. Now I'm using soy milk, it's unsweetened. You can use almond milk, you can use any other type of plant milk that you want, oat milk, any of it will do. I show this often. I tend to use this Eden soy. There's all kinds of different ones. You just want to make sure that whatever you do use, if you're not making it homemade, just check the ingredients and make sure that you know what's in it. So for me, this just has purified water, organic soybeans. End of story. So for me, that works. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour this milk right in there. And then I'm going to add some vanilla bean powder. Now, I prefer vanilla bean powder over vanilla extract because it's basically just ground up bean. And if you use the vanilla extract, it's either watered down or it has alcohol in it or it has other things in it. And so I prefer this. If you don't have this or you decide right now you don't want to use the vanilla extract, well, it's fine to skip it. You don't have to use it. But I'm going to go ahead and pour it in there because I have it. And then the last thing that we're going to add is our star, right? Actually, no. We are going to add, I'm getting excited. We are going to actually add some sweetness. We have some natural sweetness. You can skip this if you want, but I'm going to go ahead and add a little date syrup. This is the Date Lady date syrup. If you didn't have date syrup, then you could use maple syrup if it's pure maple syrup, which I have here. But you don't have to, because this is actually should be sweet enough for some with just the pear. Now, the color is going to be darker because of the vanilla bean powder and because of the date syrup than if you had left those out. And, you know, that's just a preference thing. So let me put this aside. Okay, so now I was going to whisk it, but because I added the pear, I'm just going to do it with this fork. But yeah, whisk would be fine too. And I'm just going to kind of put it together, just mix, mix, mix. I want to incorporate the powder that we just added to the best of my ability. And then we're going to add the chia seeds. And it kind of looks dark. It almost looks chocolatey to me, but of course, you know, we didn't do that. And so you can see that if you don't want it to have that dark flavor, then go ahead and maybe use the maple syrup, which is a lighter color, and decide about the vanilla beans. Now, you could add an additional pear if you want, but I'm just going to go with what I have here. And now, adding in the chia seeds. Now, I'm using the dark chia seeds. I do actually have white chia seeds, so either will work. I'm just going to move this out of the way. These are the ones that I'm currently using. Actually, this is not the brand anymore because I started buying them and they come in a bag, and I love this container, so I keep refilling them. But I think the ones that are actually here are an organic one that I got at Costco, but you can also order them online if you can't find them at your local grocery store. Now, the white chia seeds that I have, those I get from a local grocery store called Natural Grocer. They keep them in their refrigerator. They come in small bags, and I keep it in my refrigerator, and I'm happy to show you those as well. But honestly, any chia seed, any color will work just fine. And what happens with chia seeds is when they are infused into a liquid, over time they'll gel. And that is what we're looking for, and that will create the pudding type texture that we want. Chia seeds are loaded with protein and omegas, properly balanced, and it's just, they're amazing. I wonder if this thing says anything about them that I could share. Well, there's a little bit of iron in them, potassium, and yeah. They're just wonderful addition to a plant-based diet. So now that we have them all mixed up, what I want to do is you can either take them in the bowl and set it in the refrigerator, or you can take some kind of container that's going to be your serving container and have as many as you want, and you can fill this. And then we're going to let it sit in the refrigerator for it to get that gel, emulsify, that gelness to them. And you can do it anywhere, I would say 2 hours minimum. You could see what it looks like in an hour, but 2 hours minimum is what I hope to do, up to overnight. So yeah, you're at the end of making dinner, you could certainly put this together, put it in the refrigerator, and then in the morning, you'll have your chia pudding ready to add a topping to. So I am gonna go ahead and pour some in this cup, but I think I'm gonna get my spatula. I love me a good spatula. I mean, kitchen tools, the right ones, are so helpful. And so I get excited when I have tools that help me be more successful, and simple ones count for me. The scraper, the spatula, I just love them. Even a fork, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can pour this in without making a big mess, just to show you. And yeah, there we go. Oh, I can smell the vanilla bean. Ah, yumma, yumma. And so I don't want to pour it all the way to the top. And so this would be considered a serving. So I can get another jar that I have, which I will, and I'll pour some more in that one. Or like I said, you could do it here, but then you'll have to transfer it. And I really like to be able to take it out and it's ready to go in the jar that you're going to serve it in. And I'm keeping it a little bit lower because we are going to bake pears, and we're going to add it as a topping when we're ready to go. And if it's too full, of course, what's going to happen? It's not going to fit. Now, these might swell up a little bit, and so we'll have to check and see if my measurements, my eyeballing measurements, were accurate or not. But hang tight 1 second. I want to get another jar, and it doesn't matter if they're matching or whatever, just whatever you want to serve it in. So hang on. So what I might do is move a little bit here so that it's a little more even, and then we'll have more of like 2 servings instead of 1.5. Okay, so the jars aren't the same, but it looks to me like the portions are pretty close. And that's it. I'm gonna get a lid on this one. See if I have one, lid or no lid, I'm gonna put these in the refrigerator. Okay, so we're gonna let those sit for a while. I'm gonna clean up, and then we'll be back when it's time to bake the pears. Alrighty, it has been 24 hours since we did our chia pudding. It's been in the refrigerator this whole time, and so now that it's getting close to the time to eat them, I thought we would bake some pears. Now, if you don't have time for this, or you don't wanna do this, the chia pudding is ready to go, and you can just eat it how it comes. But if you want to add a little element, you could try this with me. So I have a few pears. These pears are kind of looking like they've been around a little bit, because they have. And so I think that whatever sweetness they're going to offer, it would be in at this point. I've washed them, cleaned them, and so I'm just going to slice it right down the middle. And then I'm going to take a melon ball scooper. You don't have to use this. Actually, this is kind of a big one. I have a smaller one, or you can just use a regular spoon. But the idea is for me to kind of scoop out the seeds and any stem and set it aside. And with the stem, sometimes you could just pull it out like that, which is pretty cool. And there you have this beautiful half. And I want to put some halves in a Pyrex dish. I preheated my oven, and so it's telling me it's ready. The oven is preheated at 375, and so that's what I would suggest you do. This doesn't have the stem, of course, but it does have that little guy, so you don't have to, but you know, you just want to cut out whatever it is on the pear that you aren't going to want to eat. So here we go. So this guy is going to be right there. You can set them any way you want. I think I'll keep them the way they were. And I'm just going to continue to cut these until we have this pan filled. Now I'm doing more than probably a portion, but that's because I want to have them cooked, and so that if I decide to make more chia, or if I want to use this for something else, it's already cooked and I have plenty. Now, I have made pears before, baked pears, and I'll link that in the description if you haven't checked it out. And it's a similar way, but you might be able to look into that if you're unfamiliar. And that one is done as more of a dessert. But the way that I eat, you could eat it for any meal as well, because it's just whole foods, right? So I'm just going to take this. I love how easy this is to just scoop it out in the pears. It's just great. And then again with the stem, I'm just going to hold on to the very bottom part that's connected to the pear, and I just kind of bend it forward, and it literally just pulls out, which is great too. And so if you want to make more pears, just get a bigger pan. It's really up to you. And so here we are. Not a lot of prep work. And so the next thing that we're going to do is sprinkle this with cinnamon. Now you can just, you know, it doesn't have to be anything perfect. Just sprinkle it evenly. If you don't like cinnamon, like I always say, skip it. But cinnamon has so many benefits. It's such a wonderful thing. That I think maybe give it another try. And there we go. I'm really putting a lot of cinnamon on here. You don't have to use this much, but I want to coat it pretty well. Okay, so that's that. And then what I'm going to do is I am going to take a few different things, and I'm just going to kind of blend them together and then pour it on top and stick it in the oven. So I'm going to set this aside for a minute, and I just want to let you know that I have in here some maple syrup. You don't have to use maple syrup. You can use date syrup. And then I also have some vanilla bean powder that I'm going to put right into the maple syrup. And I am going to get a spoon or a fork or whatever, just to kind of mix them together. And you'll notice that the vanilla bean sometimes floats to the top. You could even add the cinnamon in this and mix them all together if you wanted. I just wanted to kind of coat the pears pretty heavily with the cinnamon, but you know, that's another option, is just to mix it all together. And then we're going to add one more thing. This stirred up very well, is something a little bit unusual, and this is pineapple juice. Now, If you're gonna buy pineapple juice, just make sure to check the ingredients. This one is an organic, it's just pure pineapple juice, and it literally, that's the ingredients, organic pineapple juice, which I'll show you right here. And so if you can find that in your store, that would be great. Or if you have a juicer, you can juice fresh pineapple, or you can juice frozen pineapple. But the idea is to get some pineapple in there, a little bit of a tang flavor. If you don't have pineapple or you can't have pineapple, you can use lemon juice. Or you could even also maybe look into another kind of citrus juice. I've never tried orange juice, but you might be able to try orange juice. And so I'm just gonna pour some of the pineapple juice right in to our little cup here. There we go. Literally, that's it. So let's go ahead and mix this again because we added the pineapple juice. The oven continues to tell me it's ready, and I am glad. I am just about ready for it. I'm gonna bring the pears back over here. And then I am literally just going to drizzle and spoon this on all the pears. Now, I see some of them are a little bit like top heavy, you know, so I'm just gonna kind of lean them against each other to try to get them so that the juice, that the mixture that I just made will really, you know, not just run off, but whatever it is, it's all good. And this one I kind of took a little bit of the end, so it is just running out, but we're just gonna continue to just drizzle it until this is all coated. There we go. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave this uncovered, and I'm gonna cook it for 25 minutes. I'm gonna check it about the halfway point, and we just kind of wanna get it so that it's cooked. It's a little caramelizing at the top a little bit, and that's it. So while that's in the oven, I just wanted to talk a little bit about chia seeds and just some of the benefits that you can get from chia seeds. Besides the fact that they're high in omega-3s, a lot of different things are higher in omega-6s, and we want to have more of a balance. So these will give you more of the omega-3s in terms of boosting mental and physical energy. You're going to have that boost with chia seeds. It's a great anti-inflammatory. It can help people with weight loss. And it's just a wonderful thing. It's very satisfying. It supports gut health if you're having any kind of issues with, you know, the gut area. It's really soothing and very helpful for that. And I've also heard that it improves heart health. I don't know much about that, but it's always good to do things that keep our heart happy and healthy. And another thing is that chia seeds also can help balance hormones, which I thought was really interesting. And then the difference between, which is very minimal, but we had talked about you could use white chia seeds or you can use black chia seeds if you want, and the difference is very, very little bit. But the black chia seeds tend to have a slightly bit more protein, and the white chia seeds happen to have a slightly bit more omega-3s. So I think you win regardless, and I just wanted to talk about that really quickly. So we will be back to check on this. I'm going to clean up a little bit, and we'll see you when it's time to taste. Okay, so I got everything cleaned up, and I got a few other things out, and that is about to beep. So the pears should be done. I did check them about the halfway mark, and I thought they were looking great. I went ahead and pulled the chia seed pudding out so that we can have that ready to go. But before we get into what we're gonna do with that, I just wanted to talk about some nuts. Now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take the pears out, and while they're cooling, I am going to roast some nuts. this is added. You don't really need to do this. This is just kind of an extra. What I actually was going to do is just chop up the pears once they've cooled just slightly and put them on the chia pudding, and there you go, you're ready to go. But if you're like me, sometimes I like to go and just do a little bit more. And so that is going to be adding some red raspberries. And if you don't like raspberries or you don't want berries and you'd prefer nuts, that's why I'm talking about these. I have pine nuts on one side, I have walnuts. It doesn't really matter what kind of nuts you use, but I did want to take a minute while I let the pears cool to just show you how you can toast the nuts pretty quickly and allow their natural flavors and natural oils and just the scents to permeate. They'll just come right out and will add a lot to our dish. So let's pull this out. Ah, these look great. Oh, wow. I just want to show you this. Look at this. Look, look, look. Oh, yummy. And I can really, really smell the cinnamon and the vanilla bean. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to go ahead and just let these cool for a few minutes. Yum. And so what I just want to show you is if you turn on a flame and you get a pan, a roasting pan, hot, or you can do it in the oven, which I feel like I don't have as much control and they can burn easier in the oven. So if you were going to add nuts to this, you can either do them whole, whatever kind of nuts you are, but with the bigger ones, I tend to like to chop them a little. And these are the walnuts. These are all nuts that are not salted, they're not roasted currently, they're just raw or just organic. These are the walnuts that I have. And these are the pine nuts. Sometimes people have a hard time finding pine nuts, and so you can choose something else. So just letting it get a little hot. It's definitely hot. It doesn't take long. And now nothing, just adding the pine nuts in there. If you want to mix them, you could mix them. I kind of want to keep them separate just to show you the idea. And so let's just take a minute here and just kind of literally you just let them cook for a minute or two. And you'll start to smell it. Now you want to be careful because they can burn very quickly, and that is not what we want to do. So while we're waiting for that to just take place, and you just want to kind of shake it up a little bit, and different nuts will take a few minutes more or a few minutes less. You never want to walk away from your nuts when you're trying to just roast them or toast them a little bit. So in the meantime, I just kind of wanted to take a minute while we have it just to show you the two that we have here as the chia pudding. And if you like it chunky, this is going to be great. What I meant to say earlier is that if you don't like it chunky, you can certainly, when we were chopping up and kind of smashing the pear, you could certainly blend it up and make it into more of like an applesauce type of puree, or you could peel the skin, and that would also make it a little bit more mushy. But I like having the chunks in it, and so that's why we did it this way. So let me check on these, and they seem to be doing fine. I have my flame on a medium. You want to start out slow, and then you can progress a little bit. I can actually, I don't know, I just was thinking it would be nice to have the nuts separate, but you can roast it all together. Anyways, I'm looking at the pears, and just gonna kind of, I think what we're gonna do is cut one up. So I'm gonna get a little, I was gonna get a plate, but you know what I'm gonna do is just take it the way it is. And I'm just gonna cut it up a little bit right here. And yeah, let's do that. So letting it cool a little bit longer is probably wise, but you know me, I'm excited and I wanna show you right away. And these are done. These are done. So we have to pivot again, and I just want to show you, look it. You can see that they're already browned. Look at that. I mean, that was no time at all. So it's really, really quick. You do not have to do this step. You don't even have to add nuts. But If you wanted to get a little fancier, you certainly could. And so what I think I'm gonna do, just because you saw how quick that was, I think I'm gonna just do the walnuts, and then we'll have a few options that we can play around with and that I can show you. Because like you saw, it is fast, happens quick. So let me just put those on there, and then we're gonna get back to the pears. Okay, so I'm setting this aside. I am so excited about this. I love this. So let's see which one we'll do. Just seeing how tender they are. Now these are still a little on the firm side, and so if you like it that way, that's perfect. And if you would prefer it, don't do this way. This is a bad idea. I should have just set it over here. If you prefer it a little bit more firm, you just adjust the cooking time. If you like it a little mushier, a little bit softer, the softness does bring out a little bit of a sweetness, you can certainly do that as well. And I don't want to lose the juice that is in there, so I actually might go ahead and cut it on a plate. So there we go. And what I want to do is, gosh, doesn't this look good? So you could certainly just serve it just like that and put it right on top of the chia, but I'm going to go ahead and slice it up a little bit. Yum. Oh gosh, there's nothing like baked fruit, if you ask me. I love it. Pears, peaches, whatever. And even if you didn't put anything on top of it, you could certainly leave them plain without this beautiful topping, and they would work just fine. And these are a little bit on the firmer side, but they are still pretty soft. And look at that, just kind of mushy. See that? All right, let's take a peek here at our walnuts, because these can burn very quickly. And the pan was already super hot, so we want to make sure that we're moving it around and paying attention to it. And yeah, I'm going to say these are done. Now, you could chop them a little finer. You could cook them a little longer. I love the versatility. And I'm just going to, for the sake of not burning my hands, remove it all together out of the hot pan. All right, so here we go. Now, I personally would just say serve it out of this thing right here, but you can put it in another bowl or container, and you know, just depends on what you like. If I was going to serve it out of here, I might clean up the little edge and fill it up, but I'm wondering, let's see, I sometimes like to use these, and I feel like I wasn't going to, but maybe we should, okay? So I'm just going to spoon out some of this beautiful chia pudding. You can mix it if you want. I'm feeling like this is really gonna be good. Oh, you can use an ice cream scoop if you want, or a melon baller scoop, just to make it, you know, the shape like really pretty, but you don't have to. And then what we're gonna do is we are going to slowly take our pears and put them right on top. Nice hot pears. And don't be shy. Use up the whole pear, the whole half, whatever you want. And if there is any liquid, add it in. God, I almost want to get my spatula. Not almost, I am, just because it's so good and I want every drop of that beautiful liquid. Okay, and now we have the option to keep it just like this, which looks amazing, or we can put some fresh berries. These are raspberries. They're pretty big, so I could chop them up, but I'm just gonna kind of put a couple on there, just for a little color. I just love all the colors. And these are not baked, or, you know, they're just fresh. And there you go. This is the second way you could do it. And if you want to get crazy, you could add the nuts. And the nuts can also be just the nuts and not have it with the berries. What should we do? I'm gonna go with some of these toasted warm pine nuts. And boy, this looks great. And that's it. So now we just have to taste. Okay, the moment of truth. Here we go. Let's try some of this. And I want to get deep down in there so that I can get the chias with the fresh fruit and just give it a nice try here. Yummy. That was heavy bite on the pear. So I want to grab some of the chia. Oh my gosh. So I could even chop these top pears up more. Wow. I really taste and the vanilla. The vanilla comes through really strong. I love it, but you could adjust it if it's too much for you. And I love having the coldness with the hot of the pear. And this is so good tasting and so good for you. I really hope you give it a try. However you do it, make it super simple, or you can get a little fancier. Regardless, it's gonna do your body good, it's gonna taste great, and I just can't wait to hear. Leave a comment if you decide to do this, and don't forget, you guys, eat your greens and give plants a chance. Take care. Thank you again. I so appreciate you. Until next time.